Hey tulips, it's Simi this side, and today I am sharing my 12-hour study vlog. It wasn't easy at all, but trust me, the grind was worth every second. Let's dive right in. So in the morning, I woke up around 7:15 a.m., freshened up, and started the day with a physics lecture, which continued for about an hour. So I chose physics right in the morning because this is a kind of subject that I find a bit hard. And in the morning, I study physics because that time I'm fully fresh, awake, 100% focus and attention. So after finishing physics, I went on solving pending DPPs, which were piled up from a long time, and it took me another hour. And after finishing that, I started physics lecture 6 after a short break for prayer. So after finishing that lecture, it was time for my class, live class of zoology by Samapti ma'am. It began at 1:30. It was a fun class. Samapti ma'am is a teacher who teaches really well and connects well with us students. Along with the class, I had lunch because it was 2:30 and this is the usual time I have my lunch. So along while I wrote my notes, I had lunch also. So after zoology class, it was time for botany class by Vipin sir. Vipin sir is also an amazing teacher. The thing I love about him most is his handwriting. Wow, it's so nice. And also he explains well and bonds well with us. I was attending zoology and botany live classes because I had already completed my backlog in bio. So I could attend a live class without any stress, tension free, and with 100% focus. After completing both my classes, I went for solving the daily DPPs and marked my tasks as completed, and finally took a long break in which I prayed, had snacks, recharged myself, and came back relaxed at 7 p.m. By then, I had already crossed 7 hours of study, which gave me a small victory push. I continued with physics lecture 6, which I had stopped listening because it was time for zoology class. finishing physics lecture sick, a wave of joy overtook me and I went for having my dinner. Enjoyed my dinner, along with that watched some dramas, TV, and got back to work. So after dinner I got back, and honestly by then I was exhausted, but I kept reminding myself that Simi, you can't stop when you're this close to your goal. So I started with thermodynamics lecture 1 and lecture 2. But my eyes were droopy, my head heavy, but I kept going. By 12:30, I was at my desk with zero motivation left and literally sleepy as hell. But I decided to push through just for a little longer. I completed lecture 1 and got along lecture 2. Finally, at around 1:15 am, I just couldn't go anymore. My body gave up before my mind did. But when I checked the tracker, I realized I had studied for 11 hours, 54 minutes, and 38 seconds. A sense of accomplishment was unreal. I went to bed that night completely drained, but with the happiest and most satisfied heart. So, Tulips, that was my 12-hour study journey. It wasn't easy, it tested my patience, focus, and my discipline, but it reminded me that sometimes pushing through the toughest hours gives you the sweetest satisfaction. So like, share and subscribe my vlog, and thanks and have a nice day.